The little bell above the shop door jingled just as the rain began to pour harder outside. Inside the small grocery store, people turned their heads when they heard a loud crash near the snack aisle. A few seconds later, a frail girl in a worn-out wheelchair appeared, trembling and clutching a small packet of biscuits. The shopkeeper, a burly man with a rough voice, shouted, "Hey! What do you think you're doing? Trying to steal from my store?" His voice was sharp enough to slice through the silence. The girl's eyes widened in fear. I wasn't stealing," she stammered, her voice weak. "I just wanted to look at them. I was going to put them back." "Liar," the shopkeeper barked, storming toward her. He grabbed the packet from her hands. "People like you always make excuses. You think your wheelchair will get you sympathy." Just then, a tall man with tired eyes and a kind face stepped forward. His name was Daniel, a single father and former firefighter who'd left his job after losing his wife in a car accident 2 years ago. He had come to the store to buy dinner for his 8-year-old son, but now he couldn't ignore what was happening. "That's enough," Daniel said firmly, stepping between the girl and the shopkeeper. "She's scared. You don't have to talk to her like that." The shopkeeper scoffed. "You think she's innocent? Look at her. Dirty clothes, no money. She's obviously a thief." Daniel looked down at the girl. She couldn't have been more than 12. Her hand shook as she held onto the edge of her wheelchair. Her eyes were full of tears and hunger. "Did you take anything else?" Daniel asked softly. She shook her head. "No, sir. I haven't eaten since yesterday." The words hit Daniel like a stone to the chest. He saw his son's face flash in his mind, how he'd cry if ever left hungry. Without saying another word, Daniel pulled out his wallet and paid for the biscuits, plus a few extra items. "She didn't steal," he said, handing the shopkeeper the money. "Now leave her alone." As Daniel helped her outside, the rain had slowed to a drizzle. He opened his car door and asked, "Where are your parents, sweetheart?" The girl hesitated. "My name's Lily," she said softly. "My mom passed away last year. My dad, I don't know where he is. He left when I was little." Daniel's heart broke. "Do you have anyone to look after you?" Lily shook her head. "I live near the old train station. There's a small shed. I go to the community center sometimes for food, but it's been closed for days." Daniel sighed deeply, torn between worry and compassion. "You can't stay there alone. Come with me. Just for tonight. I'll make sure you're safe." That night, Daniel made her a warm meal while his son, Ethan, watched curiously. Soon, Ethan and Lily began talking, sharing stories about school, games, and dreams. It was the first time Daniel had seen Ethan laugh that much since his wife's passing. Days turned into weeks. Daniel helped Lily register for medical care and arranged a wheelchair from a local charity. He also visited the police station to report her situation, hoping they could locate her father, but no record turned up. Still, Daniel didn't give up. He enrolled Lily in an online school program and helped her catch up with studies. She began to smile again, her shy laughter filling the once quiet home. Ethan started calling her sis. But one evening, everything changed. Daniel was at work when a man in his 50s showed up at his house. He looked rough, unkempt hair, tired eyes, and a heavy limp. He introduced himself as Robert. "I'm Lily's father," he said quietly. "I've been looking for her for months." Daniel's heart sank. "You left her alone," he said, his voice shaking. "She was starving. Living in a shed." Robert lowered his head in shame. "I didn't mean to. I had an accident at work and lost everything, my job, my home. I ended up on the streets. When I came back for her, she was gone." His voice cracked. "I never stopped looking." When Lily came into the room, her eyes filled with tears. "Dad," she whispered. Robert fell to his knees beside her wheelchair, sobbing. "I'm so sorry, baby. I thought I'd lost you forever." Daniel watched silently, emotion swelling in his chest. He saw the pain, the love, and the years of regret all at once. He realized that this broken man wasn't a villain, just another parent who'd lost his way. Later that night, Robert told Daniel he'd found work and was staying at a shelter until he could afford a small place. Daniel offered to help him get back on his feet. "You both deserve a second chance," he said gently. Months passed. Lily's health improved, and Robert found a steady job. Daniel often visited, bringing Ethan along. They'd share dinner, laughter, and stories of hope. One afternoon, as they all sat together watching the sunset, Lily looked at Daniel and said, "You didn't have to help me that day, but you did. You saved my life." Daniel smiled. "No, Lily. You saved mine. You reminded me what it means to care again." The story spread through the neighborhood, of a man who stood up for a girl everyone else ignored, only to discover that compassion can mend even the deepest wounds. By the end, both families had found something they'd been missing for a long time: love, forgiveness, and the strength to begin again. And as the sun dipped below the horizon, Daniel realized that sometimes, the people we choose to help are the ones sent to heal us in return.